Police in Hong Kong have been pulling down the barricades erected overnight by pro-democracy demonstrators. They'd reinforced them using bamboo poles and cement as part of their continuing protests against what they see as Beijing's excessive powers in the territory. Well, our Asia correspondent Mark Stone joins me now live from Beijing, the Chinese capital. Mark, we were speaking earlier, this is day 2 of the barricade destruction. No violence as yet, but it could still turn quite nasty.
It could. I should think if the political leaders up here in Beijing are watching these pictures, they'll be pleased that finally the streets of what is now their territory have been cleared. The protesters don't appear to be fighting back. We've seen over the course of the past 2 hours or so police in several areas, mainly it appears on Hong Kong Island, moving the barricades away. There have been very, very few protesters. You can see some of these earlier pictures here. There appear to be more bystanders and city workers in the background there taking photographs than there are protesters. But those barricades have now been moved away. I think there are 2 reasons why we're not seeing, at the moment at least, a backlash by the protesters. Number one is that many of the protesters have gone back to school or to university because, of course, last week was a public holiday right across China, including Hong Kong. This week isn't. So a proportion of them will now be back at their schools or at their universities. I think also there will be an acceptance by some, but not all, of the protest leaders that they may have lost the battle, but the war is yet to be won, and it could be a very, very long one. They accept that they're not going to overturn the decision by Beijing overnight. They may never overturn it, but at least they've sown the seed. And don't forget that most, if not all, of these protesters are young people from Hong Kong. They're not going anywhere. They will be the business leaders of the future in Hong Kong, and they all have a very, very strong view about where they want to see democracy and the political future of Hong Kong going. So they're not going anywhere. They will come back, and I think, as I say, this is them having sown a seed. They also need to keep this careful balance between not upsetting the wider community in Hong Kong. These streets, and this is a main artery on Hong Kong Island, has been closed now for nearly 3 weeks. If it's closed for any longer, they will perhaps lose or at least erode the support that they are receiving from many within the business community who aren't out on the streets but are quietly supporting what it is that they're trying to do.